Assalamu alaikum viewers. Viewers, in this video we are going to discuss novel and what are its important elements. So without taking much time, let's get started. Viewers, the definition of novel according to Encyclopedia Britannica, novel is an invented prose narrative of considerable length and a certain complexity that deals imaginatively with human experience, usually through a connected sequence of events involving a group of persons in a specific setting. Viewers, according to Oxford Dictionary, novel is a story long enough to fill a complete book in which characters and events are usually imaginary. Beside this, viewers, according to the Penguin Dictionary of Literary Terms and Theory, the word novel is taken from from an Italian word novella, which means a tale or a piece of news, or in other words, it means the novelty, the something that is new. Viewers, now let's discuss in detail that what are the important elements of novel. The very first and the most important element of novel is plot, and plot is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. Every plot is made up of series of incidents that are related to one another. In other words, we can say the systematic arrangement of all the important events and accidents that are happening in a novel or a drama. Their arrangement, their proper sequence is called plot. Viewers, the plot or the main story of a novel or a drama contains different parts. The very first part of the plot is exposition or the introduction of the events. Whenever there is a story, we see the beginning of that story, and the second part of that plot is rising action. That story slowly and gradually moves in upward direction, and if there are certain crises or the events, they are moving toward the complexity, and there is a point in that story when all the events they reach the climax. That is the peak most part of a novel or a drama, and at the climax we usually see the hero of the novel or a drama. He takes, or she, heroine, they take the important characters, they take some decision, and then those events they slowly decline, and that part of the plot is called the following action, and they slowly move towards the resolution or the conclusion. So the five different parts: the exposition, then the events are moving towards the complexity, the climax, then some decision is taken, then the things start settling down, and in the end we find some solution to those events or those crises. Viewers, the second most important element of a novel is character. We know the characters are the people or sometimes animal who cause the events in a novel or a drama. As we discussed in plot, that the plot is the arrangement of the events, and the character are the people they cause those events and incidents. So the characters, the people in the novel or a drama, they are called the characters. Viewers, then the presentation of those characters is called characterization, and we have the two different methods of characterization. One is direct method of characterization, and other indirect method of characterization. In direct method of characterization, we find that the writer himself is introducing the characters. He is giving us the information about the characters, while an indirect method of characterization, the characters introduce themselves. Viewers, the third important element of a novel is dialogue. The dialogue, it is the speech of characters in any kind of narrative, story, or play. We know that when there are the characters, naturally there is some conversation. So the conversation between the characters is known as dialogue in literary terms. Now, dialogues should be natural, appropriated, and dramatic, which means that it should be in keeping with the personality of speakers, suitable to the situation in which it occurs, and easy, fresh, vivid, and interesting. It is evident that these are the elementary conditions of a good novel or a good dialogue. Remember, viewers, the dialogue should be according to the personality of the characters. Their speeches, the speeches of character must match their personalities. Viewers, the next important element of novel is scene and time of action. The action must take place and the characters must do and suffer somewhere at some point and some time. Now it includes entire milieu of history, the manners, custom, ways of life, as well as its natural background or environment. Now that setting that includes two parts, the social setting and the material setting. So this is also one of the very important elements of viewers. The next important element is his style. The characteristic manner of expression in prose or verse, or how a particular writer says things. Now, style contains different parts. For example, the choice of words, that what choice of words the writer is using, what is his diction, and the figures of his speech, what figures of his speeches he is using, then other literary devices, what literary devices he is using in his writing, then the shape of sentences, what kind of sentences writer is using, whether those sentences are simple, compound, or complex, then the shape of paragraphs and language, and more importantly the tone, that what tone the writer is using. Now this is the most important, the style. This is the actually thing that differentiates a one writer from other, an ordinary writer from an extraordinary. So this is very important, and this is one of the important elements of a novel or a drama. Viewers, the next important element of novel is philosophy, that is writer's criticism, interpretation, or the philosophy of life. We know the novel is concerned directly with life, with men and women and their relationships, with the thoughts and feelings and passions and motives by which they are governed and impelled, with their joys and sorrows, their struggles, successes, and failures. Now, in this part, writer gives his philosophy, and normally we see that there is a conflict between right and wrong, between vice and virtue. So, in this part of the novel, writer gives his philosophy, that what message he wants to convey, the entire, we can say, the work of the writer, entire philosophy of the writer. He conveys his message, he conveys his mind, he conveys his thoughts. So this is the important element. And mostly The writer concludes in a way that he shows that success of goodness over badness. So this is another element of novel. Viewers, thank you very much for watching this video. Stay blessed, stay